All right. Good morning, everyone. This is Michael Venezia, head trader at TradeView Markets, TradeGATEHub, sponsored by TradeView Markets. And here's our site right here. Beautiful site, by the way. I was poking. You know what? I said yesterday as I sign in just the same as everybody else. The site's really, considering I guess you would be surprised how international a firm is, but how somewhat it's a family office. Is very little turnover. I've been here over a decade and I'm not the only one. So poke around in the site, man. Very good. The reason why I say that is when I log into TradeGATEHub, if this tab of TradeGATEHub brings you everything, like everything in this world, if you will, that one tab to trading room to top news. Hold on a second. There's just a news tab for us. Global headlines, stocks, crypto. I got about 19 windows open, so it's really a little bit faster. Charts. You want charts? Punch it up. You know, it's a free charting program. So most of the times you have to join things or give you a credit card to do whatever. You want to know about stocks and what's moving for the day? Forget about Yahoo Finance or whatever you guys use. Go to TradeGATEHub. Like I said, right here, go to the stock room. You want to see what's moving today? Top U.S. gainers, go by percentage. What's moving up nicely today? XL Fleet. Good. I know XL Fleet. That used to be a high flyer. It was once like a $90 stock. What else is moving? ISE had earnings. Are we any of these? STNE had earnings. That's the Brazilian payment provider. We did have NU overnight, which was acting very poor. I thought the stock should have been up about 10%, considering that its counterpart or this in its particular group was up that way. And the same thing with PAGs. Right after STNE came out with earnings last night, and PAGs does the same thing, believe me. I'm after correction. You could have bought all you wanted, and it was like only like 20 cents above. And I'm saying there's something wrong here. And it was a big offer, and I wanted to buy like 20. No, actually, I wanted to buy 12,000 and take out the PAGs offer. I think it was like 1206. And yeah, it did open higher, and I think it got a little bit of help in the futures. And I think the Brazilian thing, but you know what? It's right where it was. Somebody knew. They always know. So anyway, this is the page, Forex page. You want to know what's going on with Forex today? Forget about whatever. I'm not a Forex guy, buying it and whatever it is, investing.com right here. Everything you want in Forex, crypto, obviously. And by the way, crypto, it went from the bond market and the dollar leading equities. Then that flipped around to kind of as inflation kind of a bit. Look at this chart here. As the inflation fears at least kind of peaked or abated as the dollar, as Coach called it brilliantly. And I'll go to the UUP right here because I got, I start off a little bit slow, but then I start heating up. There's the chart on the dollar. Anybody want to know what one of the top trades of the year is? I don't care if his name is Peter, Paul, or Mary. His name happens to be Dale. Go right here in the TradeGATEHub room and go to our red YouTube channel. If you don't do it already, here are all our videos posted all the time here. Coach and I do a video every day. 11 o'clock. Coach does one at 9:30. I do one with Coach Tuesdays and Thursdays at 11 Eastern. So listen, you know what? This week we had Helene on, who has a couple 100,000 followers. We had Jake on. Too, we have David Hunter back on, who says it's going to listen. David Hunter's story is, it's an interesting story. I mean, this guy really throwing I don't want to say it's a Hail Mary pass because he has a lot of credible reasons behind it. It's just outside the lines, and you know what? That's sometimes it takes that, but I'm not saying it's right or wrong. But listen, Coach is having great guests, including David, I believe, next week. All right. So you want to know about the dollar, but this is what my point is. Crypto is now as where is coin? Oh God, as this SBF situation happens and in the collapse of FTX, it's coin and it's SI are the ones that are leading the market right now. So hold on a second. Let me look at my screen. Kathy, by the way, look what Kathy did. She bought another 300,000 coin yesterday. Last week, buying into down movement. Why not? You know what? Why not? Why not buy into down movement? Cheers to SI and crypto and shorts. Hold on a second, please. Yeah, this FTX situation. So let me go to the chart here. Okay. So now as we come here into Friday, in an OpEx where, as I said in TradeGATEHub, and I'll get back to the routine in a second, a lot of the moves have been made. Apple's around 100, 151. It's probably going to stick around the 150 strike. Microsoft's 239, probably around the 240 strike. Something like a TTD 50 strike. Let me bring something else up. Newmont's 44.61. Gold reverse, maybe a 45 strike. PayPal is 84.72, 85 strike. Square 60. You get the picture. You know what I mean? Granted, I'm not saying that's the pattern, but with the volume that's going to be skewed, and it's going to seem like everything has a heavy volume. It's up to you to do it, to see what the average 10-day volume is, and we have that here to disseminate the information. But and I know I'm jumping back and forth, but my thoughts are, and I know my points are very valid, so I don't really have to apologize. But this is really what matters today. So let's go back to the trading room. It was this. I got coach into my corner there, and it was this. This all that really matters for the short term. And by the way, that was covered up. It could be a dude, by the way. It would cover up a dude's private parts, but that's what's going on. That's the headline over the weekend. That girl, literally. The only thing she has on me is she's better looking, but I'll leave it at that. Gerard, great with this, great information, man. Great information. Gave you the morning movers this morning to the upside and downside for the active trader, as I always do, because I am an active trader. I'm waiting for things to kind of calm down here. But let me guess with this. Lewis, nice focus, upgrades and downgrades. Larry said it. Right here. Strong post-earnings moves so far from AMAT, semiconductor equipment maker, PNAW, cybersecurity, and Ross Stores. It's no surprise what the department stores are doing is Macy's had its best day in I don't know how long, but believe me, we'll go to the chart in a second. And for a stock that was up, 2 and change yesterday, right now for it to only be down 30 cents is very bullish. You want that. This is what I learned from my mentor. This is what, or the one that was the best momentum mentor. If you want to be short Apple on a day when it's down 10%, not when it's down 2%, you know what I mean? If it's down $19, I'm not saying it's got to be at the low, but you have more. That's how it is. That's like, maybe I didn't articulate that better, but I meant to make a Macy's point. I'll get back to that point, by the way. I got something in my corner of my eye going. I got this screen in the corner of my eye. I don't like it. All right, tactical sentiment. Lewis, hope you're feeling better. McGilligan, Lewis, I know you love it. Credit default swaps. It's not even an issue anymore. It almost, hold on. And at this moment, it almost turned, that's saying that the credit is really not an issue. And probably now, when I say a binary move with the CDS, it's going to have to take something severe of a binary move, even something more tantamount that would drive the dollar, which would be analogous, but you get my point. But this is what's making me calm on the long term, but more cautious in the near term. I flipped. Now I have a better understanding, I think, of the credit default swaps and hedge fund exposure are edifying my, at least how I feel, in that I can sleep at night. Once again, it's a phrase, putting, for the fund and longer term to use. Now I'm getting more, things are moving very nicely as the VIX has come down tremendously. But as I'll show you my screen, stocks are moving very well. So what that says is the strong stocks are acting strong and the weak stocks are acting weaker with the low VIX. So the hedge fund exposure, they wised up and they started covering. All right, just correlate this, but still underexposed. God forbid they ever get on side of the, flip and go bullish. So still below zero and underfunded, but no surprises per action. And they started covering. This has been something we post. It's public. All right. So they flinched a little bit. They didn't go from they didn't redline on bears. They actually flipped a little bit and says, okay, maybe that's hedge funds covering, but the Bank of America indicator, I think, is more of older people, like we used to use Bank of America. I don't think the kids use bank. It's more like it's more about sentiment about how people older, maybe, 50 years old think, but that just may be because of the world in general and not exactly how stocks are acting. But right there, still extremely bearish. It is what it is. It's a tool. It's not the only tool, but we like to match that with CPC and sentiment, sector sentiment at the same time. And that's how we derive a plan. That's really it. It's up to you to handle how to handle your winners and your losers. All right, but I did give you Goldman Sachs opinion or equities cover. Rates need to be sufficiently restrictive, but read it. I'm going to stop saying this, but I'm going to say it a little bit more. That's actually a counterintuitive statement, is that read the Goldman statements. It might get a little bit more difficult, but it'll sink in time as market conditions act how Goldman, but this is their rundown is what I'm saying. But might be difficult reading, but you'll get used to it as I did. I'm no genius. Warren Buffett portfolios, Larry, as long, let's go by the price action. You know what? If AMAT reported this quarter 2 weeks ago, it would be a way different story. It's just the way it is. You know what I mean? If Foot Locker reported this number, which wasn't even that good, it just would have been different. We're speaking today, Biden at 1:30 Eastern. Take a look. Yesterday's up movers and down movers via Bloomberg. They are the up movers and down movers, and why? Part of me, Bed Bath & Beyond was one of the up movers. It tells you why. I'm gonna get Bloomberg. Don't it? Down movers, same thing. Dude, this is beautiful. This is about all the stuff. This is like finance porn to me. And I'm not even being dramatic. What was team yesterday? That's one of Gerard's. What was that? 5%. Develops ops with margin at risk. Points losing could lose share. Those are the cliff notes right there. Boom. It's awesome. All right, couple of news stories, economic data. There's the greed factor. The hedge funds, when they cover, that might be propelling it. Maybe they flip. Who knows? Market's got a lot of sentiment to wash up for a little bit. This OPEX is going to help Friday, but what this weekend, once again, it's going to be about the coin and stocks like Silvergate and any more FTX fall over. JT reported numbers, tried to follow. I was going to write that down. Tried to piggy bank on Bob. But JD this morning was 61. Now it's 55, or reverse. It was sell the rumor. I'm not going to lie, but I tried to short it, but there were a lot of things going on. And I knew that I had to focus on the stocks that I had committed to. I made my bet and I lied, and even winners as well, like a Kroger, or a loser like an ONON. So the thing is, when the more profitable positions you have in your account, the more you're actually allowed to let them go and get into good trades, even better day trades, and sink your teeth into them like that. When you have problems, it carries over into other situations, and it clouds your opinion on putting on new good money. And that's what happened to me with JD. No problem, but it is what it is. I note the trade and I learned from it. Gaps, major fund winner. Posted back. I said it was by the way, I did say Macy's and Kohl's weren't even that up as Gap reported. That was a sign early on that Gaps was going to have a little profit taking. I did post that, I bet. Gamma levels. Joba, you're on somewhere. I know it. You'll be on before Friday's out. That's for you. TAN still going. What's wrong? Oh, MPH pulled back a little. That's when the market. Again, I'm going to go back to these charts. AMD. There was the channel on AMD. Blow it up. Set the table there. Wouldn't be surprised if Gaps pulled back. All right, so Gaps. I did sell a chunk in the fund. I'm not going to lie, and it's because I wanted to take a profit. Hold on, is this right? Share. There's the Gaps. Here's the gapper. All right, Gaps. So here's Gaps today, okay? All right, so the Gaps, it's almost like the AT&T move going. This is unprecedented. AT&T did this move 20 years ago from 14 to 19. That would be that would be a front. I mean, what a major move in AT&T. But with that being said, is okay. So Macy's led the move yesterday in at least the box retailers, the big box stores. Okay. I mean, Macy's going from 19.5 to 22.5 is almost analogous as making that AT&T move. There's a lot more than just Macy's making a move. It's a complicated company filled with real estate and debt and inventory, and it says a lot more than just Macy's going with Kohl's. Kohl's did the same thing. Kohl's was negative yesterday and reversed on earnings. I pointed that out into the room. Where's my Kohl's? Kohl's did the same thing. Let's see how that holds. But Gaps, I thought it was getting a little long in the tooth. I was watching it last night, And I did post in the room. Maybe it was me that was selling it aggressively. I don't think I can move the stock that much. It did trade 9 million, but I did say I wouldn't be surprised if it would pull back. And I was selling it this morning. I sell it in the fund and the other. I don't use this account for the fund. As you know, I used the TradeView, the proprietary account. So I sold all my gaps. I think it was about 1372. I like that number. Yeah, I think I said it went up and it tried to go further. And I said, listen, once this breaks the open, it's going to go below 1361, which was the open. So then I'm watching this, trying to hang on. And you know what? I said, let me save myself, because I knew once it broke the open here, everybody would be thinking the same thing. So set 1362 to 1349 or whatever it was, 12,000 shares. So I saved the people. You're welcome. Maybe it's a vacation to somebody, what, $6,000. Because right here, I was thinking, you know what? If it's 1376, it's going to go to 1362 because Macy's and Kohl's were down. So I hit the bid, and that was correct for the moment. Once again, if you were watching it and let it, shake out that half an hour, that half an hour move shakeout, if you will. Once again, once it broke the open here, right here, at that 1362 was a chance you probably would have shorted it more. It's 1329. I don't think it's going to go back to zero. The 200-day at 1229 is important. 1250 is also a major strike price expiration. DLO, by the way, for the active trader. If you want to be an active day trader, active DLO is the one to trade at 13 million today. Great range price action considering it's been beaten down. Thank you, coach. This is the range. This DLO, was halted, went from 9.5 to 13, and it's had great. I mean, this thing's trading 15 million a day. Good day trader, and that one goes with Globe. GLOB had earnings yesterday. They pinned it, couldn't go. Where's the Fitch? Where's the Fitch? I sold the Fitch. I had the Fitch overnight. And I think I sold it, bought it well. I think I maybe scratched it. I was long it. You know what? I go to my position thing. There it is. I'm flat it now. But I was selling it. 863, 854, 835. All right, bravo. Buying it back, 775. Now, you know what, Fitch? I just have to be determined. It's a squeeze stock. It didn't do what I wanted to do and squeeze like a Wayfair, if you will, like a Chewy. So I'm out of it. I kind of like trading it. Traded 12 million today. It didn't squeeze what I wanted. It's a weekend. I don't want to babysit or looking at my phone as I'm driving, looking at Fitch. So whatever. Although a couple of retailers acted well, but you just got to go with the stock individual to a degree. Let's go with the Williams-Sonoma. Let's go to my screen. Here's my screen today. Williams-Sonoma acted poorly, but that had a big range. I tried to buy that last night, Williams-Sonoma at 112. Why, Mike V, you ask? And I'll tell you why. I didn't know. And I wouldn't have bought a lot. Here's Williams-Sonoma did the same thing, reversed from the lows, just like Kohl's yesterday, 116 to 125. That's a $10 move. Stocks traded 3 mil. But why did I want to buy it around 112? This was it around here. Oh, right here. Let's go to the daily first. I had bids in at 112. Oh, right here. This gap. Right here. See this gapper? And this low here. So I said I'll build like 500 shares around the 112. It did get to 113.5 last night, if I remember. I'm not mad about it. But what are you going to do? So that just shows you what Larry about his opinion was. What's another one? This GRND stock of the day for anybody that's interested. Stock's up to $4,000. No, it opened today at 11. High of the day is 72. It's sitting at 40. It's 999,000. Am I still in this? Yeah, hold on a second. Restaurant's still going too. Oh, hold on. QSR restaurant's still going. CPNG's taking option flow. Where's my Lucid that I want to dump? What a bad option flow is wrong there. Coin and SI. This is my universe today. JD. All right, you can look at this. You should do this and try to freeze it. Take a picture, and when I go back and talk about my positions, you can analyze that with the chart. JD, let's go back to the chart. I want to move. JD was extended. It almost did like a Gap Stores, how I thought it was extended, and it was extended. It wasn't a think. There was the RSI, never got above there. Baba, after a good day, opened negative. I'm not saying it's over. The rest of them are down. SC is down. FUTU tried to go positive. So JD, my price fact was 61.5. And why did I come up with the 61.5 on JD? It had to be a gap. Yeah, it was a gap. I always do those gappers. 61.20 had a nice gap. I think I went to the weekly and looked at JD. There was JD. 59.70 was probably the price. That's the convergence, and it converges down on the weekly. But next, just note the trade. I'm not mad. Let me continue before I get going. Back to TradeGATEHub. Coach, Bravo trading week, and not a Bravo trading week. I'm gonna go as far as saying thank you. Really, it's a clinic. Joby will be in there, like I said. CPC, upgrades, downgrades, buckle up. Gerard, GFS is the new ON. It's turning out to be these things. JD was up and Baba was down. Target, Target's up. Walmart's up a little bit. Home Depot versus Lowe's, same thing, that type of match. Time thing, FL, I wanted the faded. Devin was in trouble. It was down 4 at one point. CF, we had a nice trade on Moss. Took the trade. Let's go to Moss. You know what? I still think it's going lower, but this is my trade on Moss. I had the 200-day as my buffer. It doesn't look like a barn burner, but CF, by the way, hasn't been acting that well. Still below the 50-day trap there. So Moss, I had the gap. I had it short overnight. I started right here. I bought it back. I actually shorted more, covered the bottom, 48.5. Nice cover near the bottom, IV. Stock's 49.60. So I covered with the dot. I mean, you know what I mean? Now I don't have to cut a little over the weekend, and I made a decent trade. Newmont hanging around the 45. Coin, it's all up the coin in SI. Moss, Owen Semiconductor, Animal, JD breaking lower. Pardon me. XBI hanging in there. His move's been made. That's in the try. DLO still going higher. Fitch back down. ONOI. Octa. Any questions before I let it go, guys? Good week. Devin, Coach. Bob, 80. You know what? Like I said, moves have been made. And just listen to Coach. All right, I'll leave it off with what the wise guys are doing. Share screen, because you know what? In an OPEX day, options are really prevalent, or tantamount, or even the most important thing. Options shows that that's where it goes. I beg. Oh, I don't know. 1 second. See latest tweets and said, if you want to really mute out a lot of the garbage, just go to latest tweets instead. And Q overnight low, now resistance. All right. Selling rips. Okay. What are we doing here? FRPT. Ripper. Okay. Google is still bullish, and I like it December. We're in it. AR. Oil. Pins. Bullish. I haven't looked at that chart. Actually, G Money's in that one. All right. I get it. EQT, NOG, some oils, EWZ, bearish. W bullish. Gas calls. That's a Wall Street better. Keep your eye on the gasser. Bed Bath & Beyond, somebody told me it was $3 this morning. Bed Bath & Beyond. Gerard, remember we were in this? I think you were shorted too, Gerard. You actually said hang in there short. I had it near the top too. 30, it's now 3. How you doing? My God. Bed Bath & Beyond. I might go there today. They give me a coupon for like 90% off. I might use it. All right. Fear and greed there. Listen, SI bearish. It should be. Fitch bullish. I'm out of it. Nothing really going. Live trading room. Any questions? Indices going to new day highs. Lewis, indices. It's an indices question. I understand. I'm going to let him off the hook because I've been saying stocks. But it's indices. IWM. Look at the IWM. I mean, are you really going to try to be a hero here on the IWM on a Friday afternoon at these levels? Just note the strength. Maybe if it continues or pulls back or breaks out. The VIX is doing nothing. It's amazing, man. It's just freaking amazing. Foot Locker. That was the short. Look at the Foot Locker chart. The Foot Locker, same thing. And why I told you, it was the Skechers. Skechers, but look at the Foot Locker. I took my eye off it back in the clerking days. It's okay, Lewis. Short the right ones. That's fine. It's time to stop it. Look at the Foot Locker. Now it's coming down. Lewis, what it's time to do is start checking the stocks to short. If you want to do that, I'm not telling you yes or no. Just short. You know what you've learned with the right the ones that give you the edge and the least amount of resistance. All right. So it's time to stock pick correct. This really hasn't been a sector market so much because as you look at my screen, there's a lot of green stocks and relative sectors as they are to red in their respective, sectors. Uber's up, Lyft is down, LUVs up, some airlines are up, some are down. They're taking some, DuPont's up, Caterpillar's down, TJX is up, and Macy's is down. Crocs is up too, but yet my Onion is down. ONON. So the Apple's, it's that type of situation. So stock pick. And you know what? This is an option day. So note these option prints, because these option prints are where people are going to say it's a line in the sand for some of them. So I'll leave it there. Just stay prudent. Like Coach always says, and good call on run short, by the way, Lewis. That keeps going down. But it's at the 200 day. Like Coach says, don't be a hero. It's, what I mean? This is a time where you just find out it's a reflection time, go take a ride, go get some air. I don't want to sound like a geezer, but you know what? And keep the most important thing right now is crypto is leading everything else. The coin story and the FTX story is leading everything else. It's a huge option expiration day. The TLT is basically unchanged. The UUP is unchanged. Crude, yes, is a big story. The indices, Qs are basically unchanged. You know what I mean? Take a break. There's always another trade, and like we say in the room, it's about quality and not quantity. And there's we're always going to give you something to do. It's the last thing. So get to know yourself, your style, what worked this week. I'll be doing a lot of charting as ever. It's what I like to do. So everyone who's here, thank you for tuning.